Good morning. We welcome you to our Bible class this morning, and we anticipated that it might be a little less this morning because I think a lot of people were helping out get things going outside. Some last minute details, getting ready for our fall fest. And looks like we have a beautiful day and a real taste of fall. I told Dick Jones that it felt like fall out. And he looked at me and said, "It's because it is." We have a number that we want to be mindful of. First of all, it's great to have Debbie with us today, this morning, feeling a little better. As soon as she gets all the drugs out of her system, she says she'll be fine. And Amy is now home. That doesn't mean she's totally well by any stretch, but keep her in your prayers. Keith was telling me that he Brad Stewart was in the hospital some this past week. He had fallen last Saturday evening, so and then he tried to get to the bathroom on Sunday morning, and he even tried crawling, and he couldn't make it. He kind of collapsed on the floor, so they called the Lordstown paramedics, and they took him on up to the hospital. He was in ICU. I don't know if it was ICU or ICU for a little bit, but anyway, he's home now, doing better. But as Keith took him for his, originally he was supposed to have his chemo drip on Wednesday at the Hope Center. The doctor told him he didn't think he was going to let him do that this week, but then he must have changed his mind, and so he had it on Friday, and Keith took him there. Keith was saying that he's got a little bit of a drop foot. Drop foot. He kind of stutters as he walks, but he's doing better, and he's got a good attitude. He's got a bad bruise on his side there. Anyway, please keep him in your prayers, and Charlene. And also, I think if you get the paper, you're aware that Jack Simpson passed away on Tuesday of this past week. Really a sad circumstance. His son had been with him most of Monday night, and then he decided he had to go home. Lee is prone to migraine headaches, and he had just worked all day Monday trying to get his dad resituated downstairs, was moving his bed to the living room where he wouldn't have to climb steps. And then Lee decided to go home to just try to collect himself and get rid of the headache. And he was only at home a few hours, and he decided to go back, and when he went back, Jack had passed away in the house. So his funeral is going to be at Wheeling in a chapel right at Green Lawn. I think it's Green Lawn Cemetery. Does that name ring a bell? I think I told you Evergreen Wednesday night, and Don looked at me like I don't know where Evergreen is. But it's Green Lawn Cemetery in Wheeling. And it has a note in the newsletter, if you should want to go, we'd love to have you go. I know it's a 2-hour drive down there. Looks like it should be nice weather. It might be a pretty day to take a ride and get a little lunch afterwards or something. But anyway, I'm going, and I know Marco Marty is going, and I think Keith is thinking about going. It would be really nice to have enough pallbearers. If anybody else wants to go, please let us know today. The service will be at 1, and probably, like I said, we'll be all done at the cemetery by probably 1:45 or thereabouts. Let's bow in prayer. Oh, one other too. Gail Wheeler is still not feeling well. She's been dealing with pleuris. Let's bow together. Father, thank you for the night's rest. Thank you for your love for us. And we pray, Father, for all of our church family. We're especially mindful of Amy and Burdette, who have had such great struggles of late. We thank you for Debbie's getting better. We pray for her to get stronger every day. And we pray for Lee Simpson in the loss of his father. We pray for all of us in the passing of our brother in Christ, that we might be able to not grieve too long, but to remember all the good things about Brother Jack. And thank you, Father, for all of your blessings, and be with us today in our worship and in our fall fast. May we bring you honor and glory. Through Christ we pray. I didn't mention to you, but if you get the Christian Chronicle, you maybe saw a little note about this, and I think Jeannie said there's something more on Facebook that David Brazel's grandfather passed away, Mark Brazel's father. I think his name is Clint. I've met him a time or two, but it's been a long time. From Montana, so please keep the Brazel family in your prayers too. Let's turn to Exodus chapter 32. We maybe should have had class today. We just had a work session to help with everything, but then we would have gotten all sweaty. So it's kind of a catch-22, but there are, if you see people going by, they're probably doing work outside. In this chapter, let's set the backdrop to it, because it's really rather, I don't know what words describe it. Tragic, terribly, terribly sad. Look at my little opening comment there. Let's look at Exodus 19 and verse 8. Verse 7, Moses came and called the elders of the people and set before them all the words which the Lord had commanded him. Now listen to how the people responded. And all the people answered and said, all that the Lord has spoken we will do. Stephen, I think I've got a little too much power here. I'm getting a little feedback on the mic, if you could adjust that just a little bit. And then chapter 24 and verses 3 and 7, kind of ditto. Verse 3, Moses came down and recounted to the people all the words of the Lord and all the words of the Lord and all of the ordinances. And then it says, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord has spoken we will do. Skip ahead to verse 7. He took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has spoken we will do, and we will be obedient. Okay, they get to the base of the mount, and they camp there for a good while. And this time, now we're back in Exodus 32, Moses has gone up on the mountain, and how many days will he end up being on the mountain? 40 days. He comes down after being up there for 40 days, and what he is met with is just truly astounding. Look at verse 32, chapter 32, verse 1. Now, when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain, the people assembled about Aaron and said to him, come, make us a god who will go before us. As for this Moses, the man who brought us from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. Stephen, I'm still getting something here. It's just a little too loud. This is not even on.
I turned those two off. I turned those two down back there.
I'm just hearing a little ringing. It's a little distracting. Of course, I'm easily distracted. Let's try to parse this a little bit. Not that we get neurotic about there's a question about I mean, Aaron's a high priest. Did they threaten his life? Well, I mean, we're not talking 40 years that Moses has been gone. We're talking 40 days. A month and a half, he's up on the mountain. And after swearing to God and taking a vow, is what I mean there, that they promise they will be obedient to everything God says. And let's see, do I remember that one of the 10 Commandments in particular is thou shalt not make any graven images? So here they come to Aaron, and whether they are pushing him on this point, it doesn't say. We have to ask ourselves, what is Aaron thinking that he didn't put on the brakes and, just let the people have it themselves?
How long had they been traveling in the wilderness? I mean, compared to 40 days, have they been traveling for a year, or have they been traveling?
I don't know the precise answer to that question. Stephen is pretty good at that. Stephen, do you know the answer to that?
I don't know the answer exactly when they got to Sinai, but I know they got to the Canaan border in about two and a half years, I think, from when they left Egypt originally.
Because if you've been doing something for a year, 40 days might not seem so bad. If you've only been traveling for a month, and then another whole month goes by, it's gone, you might get a little more of a panic about what do we do next.
Terry, what would you think if Jeannie was gone for 40 days with no word?
With no what?
With no word. She just was gone for 40 days. She's going to Giant Eagle, and she's gone for 40 days.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, are we trying here to excuse the people? That's what it sounds like you women want to do.
All I'm saying is...
You see, now that might have been the problem back then. Their wives might have been saying, honey, he's not coming back.
Well, it's one of those things where we look at these stories and we're fairly critical of people in hindsight. Like we've been talking with the lads' kids a lot about Job's 3 friends.
Yeah.
And Job's 3 friends have a bad rap historically. But
We've got friends like him, don't we? We've been friends like him.
Well, the thing is, they're the only 3 that showed up. And they sat with Job and grieved with him for 7 days and 7 nights. And so these guys were not all bad guys. There's part of these 3 guys, or 4, that's the whole debate Steve and I are having with the kids, but so we look at these stories in hindsight and we go, you have got to be kidding me. How could they have done that? But, we pick up a cell phone, we text, we look on Facebook, we know everything that's going on pretty much like this all the time now. Whereas their circumstances were a lot different. I am not justifying I can't even begin to explain why when someone showed up at my tent door and said, give me all your jewelry, we're going to make a calf. I mean, they'd have been having to hold me down to turn my jewelry over. But as a group, they all do this, which tells me that this was one of those things that was cultural. There was something from their experience in Egypt. There's something about this story, once again, that we're missing part of.
I think that's a very good comment on multiple levels. Really, all of you have had good comments here. So we can't quite get into the mindset here. We do know that, as we talked about earlier, that there were these rebel rousers that left with the children of Israel, and it might be that they're flexing their muscles at this point. Maybe they wanted to go on the journey because of the excitement of a God who was throwing down one plague after another. This was a God that superseded anything the Egyptian gods had shown lately. But for whatever reason, there's a negative influence in their midst. But I don't want to put it all on that because, I mean, even here, Aaron has become infected by this. And that's what, well, that again, I say that's what shocks me, but I mean, how many times have we seen this happen too? Even in our own world, where leadership becomes infected and becomes very much part of the trouble. Yeah?
They had miracles done before their very eyes. You think that would be enough to solidify it?
Yeah. Yeah, not only the plagues, but all of this mountain experience where they've been at the base of the mountain and they've watched a theophany or an appearance of God of some sort. So, yeah, it's just almost hard. It's just hard to explain how this could happen. But in saying that, and the ladies have kind of balanced this, let's not get self-righteous here, because we can easily fall into this same trap if we've not already done so at some stage of our life. We vow God, we vow to God, we promise things, and then the next thing you know, we're nowhere to be seen. Well, let's keep reading for a little bit of more details. So they asked Aaron and said to him, "Come make us a god who will go before us. For this Moses, the man who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we don't know what's become of him." And so Aaron doesn't hold up his hand and say, no, wait a minute. We need to have some congregational meetings about this. You know, he just says, well, okay, tear off the gold rings. And as we've said many, many times, and as Jay has pointed out here, there's so many things that we miss. And part of what we miss comes due to the abbreviation of the text. The text doesn't tell us all of the details. And sometimes we want the juicy details to know, not only juicy in the sense of it's not that we're delighted to read about this kind of corruption, but we're trying desperately to understand how this comes about. But sometimes the details aren't given to us, and this is one of those cases. Aaron says, "Tear off the gold rings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons." Oh, wait a minute now, that didn't say that, did it? "And your daughters, and bring them to me." We think wearing earrings is a relatively new thing for boys, not quite so. I'm not endorsing it. I've never had that desire to have one myself. I just have never had the desire to be pierced. I think that's part of what my fear is. Jeannie bites my earlobe every once in a while when I'm bad, and she puts her eye teeth right on there and just, and it's that's about as far as I want to go with the piercing thing.
TMI, Terry.
What's that?
TMI.
Oh, too much. Well, there was nothing too graphic about that. I mean, I sassed her, I said something to her the other day, and she came over to the table, and she just does it. She bends over and bites my ear. That's kind of punishment. And the other thing she does is sometimes is she twists my nasals, my nose hole. That one's worse. I have a big, strong nose, but it's easily offended. I don't know why. She knows that. So I'm twice her size, but she can bring me down. With those two moves, pretty easy. All right, how did we get distracted on that piercing? So he took this from their hand, evidently they offered it up. And again, we're talking about gobs of people, and maybe, I don't know, I was trying to think, is there a tangential message here? Although they've taken up an offering for the tabernacle, and the money and the fabrics and the gemstones and the gold and silver, it just flows freely from the people. And to the extent, as we saw earlier, where they have to tell everybody, stop giving. We've got more than enough to do the job. Well, this is pretty impressive for a horde of people traveling in the desert, and we pointed out that the only logical explanation for that is that God told them before they left, ask your neighbor to give you stuff. And their Egyptian neighbors just loaded them up with all kind of riches. So what was the term that was used back in Exodus earlier? They did what to the Egyptians? I can't remember the term.
Plundered?
They plundered the Egyptians. There's something about, I don't know, I'm wondering if, okay, God said we've got enough. So now they're sitting, they were prepared to give more. But now they've got, is this a case of, some kind of a case of, I mean, I'm saying here at the title that this is an impulsive act. He's been gone for 40 days, and I know 40 days can seem like an eternity, but in the big scheme of things, having been in Egyptian bondage for 400 years, it doesn't seem like too much to wait 40 more days on God to. So.
But they're not told it's 40 days. He just says, I'm going to the top of the mountain. It's not like
Yeah, we know it was 40 days. They didn't know when he was coming back.
They have no idea. He just, to them, he's disappeared. There's no word, there's no nothing. He's just gone. And now they're there, basically.
Stranded. Their great leader, Moses, the man with all the power in terms of plagues and all that to lead the way, their spokesman, he's gone.
40 days would seem like a long time, as every day goes by and he doesn't come back.
I started to say, is this a case of having, it's hard to imagine them being an affluent people, but they are in some way. They're affluent pilgrims, if you could be such. And so when Aaron tells them, okay, everybody, we need more gold, it just comes out again. It's all over the place. I was watching some show yesterday, just briefly, on Cortland, and I'm not trying to draw too much of a parallel here, but it's amazing when you think about it. The Jews during World War II were just put in cattle cars and rolled into places like Auschwitz and Treblinka, and you would basically say, well, they just went in with the clothes on their back, and they did, but it's amazing the amount of treasure that was taken from those Jews who were sent to the gas chamber, and how that enriched in a sick kind of a way the Third Reich. So maybe we have something here that is almost a precursor to that. They have been slaves in Egypt, but they come out of Egypt with great wealth, and now they are tempted by this delay, and they make this golden calf. And so we've got to get into the text more here, not that we can explain it all. Okay, verse 4, he took it from their hand, and he fashioned it with a graving tool. That may have been sinful there itself, too. And he made it into a molten calf. And we don't know, was there a wood structure behind it? More details, I don't know. And he said to them, this is your God, O Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt. I don't know how to explain that. And when Aaron saw this, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation, tomorrow week shall be a feast to the Lord. So the next day they rose early and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people, listen to this verse 6. I heard sermons on this when I was a kid, and it's well worth thinking about. The people sat down to eat and drink, and they rose up to play. Now, do you have any little footnotes on that? What does that mean? Okay, that we're going to have a feast to the Lord. Now, let's think about the comment that's been made. They have a lot of Egypt in them. And they know how to offer sacrifices to idols. They know how to feast and to feast in ways that were not in keeping with the teachings of Jehovah God. They haven't been schooled in that regard just yet. So, do you have any footnotes on that, or any notes? Well,
Kind of sounds like Oktoberfest.
say that again.
Kind of sounds like Oktoberfest. We're going to praise God, we're going to eat, and we're going to go play games.
Okay.
They said they went down to indulge in revelry.
Indulge in revelry. That sounds like King James for something even more serious. Yeah, let's keep reading. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Go down at once for your people whom you have brought." But notice the nuance here. Go down at once for my people. That's what God has been calling Israel. No, this time he says to Moses, "For your people." This sounds like a husband and wife discussion, doesn't it? For your children, it's your son, go down at once, for your people whom you have brought up from the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. Now, this is not small talk. This is God saying to Moses, the people have corrupted themselves. They have turned, verse 8, turned away from what I've commanded them. They have made for themselves a molten calf. They have worshipped it and have sacrificed to it. Now, God knows all of this while it's happening, and he's giving Moses a heads up here, saying, I want you to go down and deal with this. And then they're saying, this is your God, O Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt. Imagine how insulted God must be about all this. And the Lord said to Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, they are an obstinate people. Boy, are we. Notice the nuance in my personal pronouns there. So he said, now then, let me alone, that my anger may burn against them, and that I may destroy them. And I will make of you a great nation. Now they're the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And at this juncture, it sounds like God is saying, I'm ready to change the lineage here. I've had it with these. They're so obstinate. They have been so bad over the years, consistently bad. And so God knows that he's made a covenant. But he says to Moses, we'll start over again with you, is basically what he's saying, and we'll use your. Now, that is a little bit surprising there, too, because well, I don't know if you call him the ringleader of this much, but who's the priest that's overseeing the building of this golden calf? It's Aaron. And what is the connection of Aaron to Moses? He's his brother. So, again, I don't fully grasp what's being said here, but what I wanted to get at verse 6, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Let's fast forward, because Moses is going to make entreaty for them, and you may have to read some of that on your own, but let's go ahead and look at verse, how Moses is going to approach here, verse 21. So finally Moses comes down the mountain, fast forward, and he actually, a little bit of detail, Joshua is up on the mountain with him. This is going to end up being a great teaching experience for his young protege, Joshua. So while they're coming down the mountain together, Moses and Joshua is kind of trained in the military. He went to, he knows military stuff, and so he hears something. He can't quite tell if it's what it is. It sounds like a party of sorts. And God has already told Moses what's happening, what's going on. So they go down the mountain, and Moses meets Aaron, and here's what we run into. Moses said to Aaron, what did this people do to you that you have brought such great sin upon them? Did you hear that language? Now, Moses is not letting his brother Aaron off the hook. He's asking, what did they do to you that you would be an accomplice in such great a sin and bring God's wrath down on all the people? So, someone read Aaron's response.
Aaron said, "Do not let the anger of my Lord burn. You know the people yourself that they are prone to evil. For they said to me, make a God for us who will go before us. For this Moses, the man who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. And I said to them, whoever has any gold, let them tear it off. So they gave it to me, and I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf."
Oh boy, this is funny on several levels, but it's sad. Now, let's read the next verse, because this gives us a little insight into the people sat down to eat and drink, and then they rose up to play. Verse 25, when Moses saw that the people were out of control. Does anybody have, well, hang on a minute, let me read the whole verse, and then you read it maybe to us from like the King James. I'm not picking on the King James here. It can be very helpful, and sometimes it is on things like this. When Moses saw that the people were out of control, for Aaron had let them get out of control to be a derision among their enemies. Okay, so what do you have for that verse, Debbie?
Moses saw that the people were running wild, and that Aaron had let them get out of control, and so became a laughingstock to their enemies.
All right, Moses saw that Aaron had let, that the people were running wild. Mine tones that down a little bit and saying that the people were out of control. Maybe not. Anybody have naked? That they were running naked? Yeah, King James. That's, as I say in the notes, that's probably not, I don't know, we're so shocked by this text, maybe that is part of the ritual that's going on in this great feast, and maybe that is something they carried over from Egyptian celebrations to their gods. We know that that was often the case, even in the first century culture, into which Paul, as a missionary to the Gentiles, went from place to place and often found all kinds of fornication involved in worship of idols and so forth. But found them naked is probably stripped of any restraint. And that's where most of our translations will render it. The people were without restraint, or the people were out of control. They lost their sense of scruples.
I don't know, Terry. Two of the versions that I read, one called it pagan revelry, and the other one said orgy.
Yeah. Well, maybe it is literal. Maybe they are running around naked. But anyway, it's out of control. It is a bad, bad situation. And in response to it, Aaron's excuse is quite feeble, isn't it? Well, again, what did he say? The people, you know they're prone to evil. I mean, you've had your difficulties with them over the last few months. You know what I'm talking about. Well, they gave me their stuff, and we put it in the fire, and here's the calf came out. Providence of God? Well, I guess that's what their excuse would have been. That's what they seem to be saying there, that God somehow they came out this way, and that must be good. Now, Vic?
Well, we just read it early up in verse 4. And he took this from their hand and fashioned it with a graving.
Yeah, so it's not quite an exact, a good answer. Yeah, so we're just totally struck by this. By the way, that word, I don't want to seem like I'm fixated on this, but that word in verse 6, when it says that the people rose up to play, there is a similarity in the language. If you back up to the story in Genesis of the story of Potiphar's wife, and see if I can find it. I think it's in 39 here. Chapter 39, it says, she caught him by his garment saying, lie with me, and we know that, what that's talking about. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and went outside, but when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and had fled outside, she called to the men of her household and said to him, see, he has brought in a Hebrew to us to make sport of us. That is a euphemism there. And it probably means to play with us. And we're not talking patty cake. You know, it's, so that word play is used that way. All right, we're out of time. And I'm sorry, maybe we'll extend this one for the next week. We've got several visitors with us, and we want to all of you feel welcome. Hope we all have a great day together. Thank you for your attention, and we'll pick up there next